And you wanted to know about my filming tech. Now, bearing in mind I'm still a newbie really, my kit is, it's probably not perfect. It's all done on a bit of a budget and it is probably nothing like actually what I should be using. But I am more than happy to show you what I am using. First of all then, the camera. What you are on here is an iPhone 13 mini. If you just use your iPhone or any other modern smartphone, you should get some pretty decent results. So you may not need to splash out on a fancy camera. It depends what you're filming. But for the top-down filming type things that I do, I just use my iPhone. Now, I did get the one with the really big memory because all the videos do eat your memory. So I film with this and then I upload it onto my laptop, which you will probably have seen clips of the laptop. And yeah, and then I do the editing from there, which I use iMovie for. Now, with your smartphone, have a fiddle with the settings, because I found that I didn't need to film in 4K for a start, because YouTube will sort that out later, and that will use a lot less memory. So have a fiddle until you get the settings that you like with your camera on your phone. The other thing to mention is that the quality of the filming is actually better with the main lenses, which are on the other side of the phone. I've got you on the view so I can see me. Gosh, that's weird. But the camera on the actual back of the phone with the multiple lenses, those are much better quality. So whenever possible, use those. I would say don't use the light on your phone either, because if you're doing resin work, it's shiny and that will absolutely it'll glare up at people and spoil the shot. So use different lighting. I'll show you what I'm using at the moment. It's probably far from ideal, but it's working okay for me, I think. You can all be the judge of that. Anyway, yeah, I'll cut now to the rest of my kit. For what it's worth, this is what I'm currently using. So when I'm filming from the side, so to give you a bit more variety, I use this little iPad mini. It's one with the reasonable memory. It's not the absolute latest, but it is sort of reasonably up to date, and it's a decent sort of spec. The camera on it is only a single lens. There it is. It's not as good as the one on my iPhone, but it's okay for the sort of like B-roll bits, side shots, and just you know, that sort of thing. At the moment, it's just stood on this little swivel top stand on a cardboard box. I have got a tripod, but my little tripod has only got a clip for this phone. It hasn't got a clip big enough for the iPad mini, so that's one of my next purchases. I'll show you the tripod shortly because I've got a new clever gadget that you probably won't need, but it's just a fun one, and it wasn't expensive either, so I'll show you that in a moment. We'll do lighting next. Now, the first thing I have to say is window. Now, we need some new windows. These have got wet damp in between them and they're dirty and oh, they're horrible, they're really old. But daylight, that's the view out of my back window. Daylight is your best friend. If you can get yourself by a nice big brightly lit window, that is where you want to be filming. Now, this time of year it's a bit dull, so I supplement it slightly with this bad boy here. Now, this is let me zoom back out a bit. Oh, you are zoomed out, okay. This is a touch thingy, so you can have the level of light that you want, and it is bendy. Do you like next door's tree? Big, isn't it? It's bendy, and it clips to the edge of my windowsill like that. I've had to glue it as well because these have been known to come loose and come crashing down. But yes, that light is great because I can change the angles. I can have it. What I tend to do when the lighting's not so great like it is at the moment, I tend to put this on just low like that, just to supplement the outside light. Of course, when it gets all bright and summery and sunny in here, it'll be a whole different matter, but I think you'd agree that's not bad. That's not bad. And I can brighten it up like this. Now, the other thing I do is if I have got shadows, because sometimes, I mean, at the moment it's not too bad because we've got outside light as well, but if I'm filming at night, which I am a lot, then the shadows can get really dark and distracting. So, and you're going to laugh at this. This is actually a plant grow light. Here's the little guy. There it is. But look how bright it is. And what that does is you'll see that more at night, but it throws a light from the side. I've got a couple of these. It throws a light from the side. That was another little cheapie. And it can just help to reduce the shadows. Now, what I tend to do is I use a lot of these small lights. So rather than just have a big light above, if you then have that on a moderate moderately high, not really on full, and then a couple of little ones sort of strategically around to keep your shadows down to this sort of level. I think this is okay because we've got the daylight. That's not a bad level of shadows. So at night it can be quite bad. Book reading lights are quite good. Tiny fish tank lights as well. Let me show you a book reading light, show you what I mean. That's one up there. It's just a little clip. Only produces a low level of light, but it's enough to stick it on the side of your levelling table and knock out your shadows. Just reduce them from the sides. Now you may ask, why do I use this instead of a ring light? I'm glad you asked. This is the first bit of kit I bought for filming. Now if you're not doing resin crafts or anything with excessively shiny surfaces, one of these is great. I've butchered the clip off the end of it. It did have one of these style clips originally on there, and that obviously is a ring light, so it's kind of a bit of an all-in-one thing. It holds your phone in the middle and the ring light shines down. Now the reason I stopped using that is that resin crafts are shiny and people started complaining about the effects of the ring light on the resin, so that's why that one's been shelved. I am keeping it in case I do paper crafts or anything else again though, but that is why that was something I wasted money on if I was only going to be doing resin. But it wasn't expensive, it was from Hobbycraft, quite a cheap, neat little bit of kit, and most ring lights aren't expensive. But bearing in mind resin, personally I would not buy a ring light now. Now some of you I know use them and you get them at the right angle and I'm sure they work, and they're probably very, very good as well. But for me and the setup that I have with this limited amount of space and all these gubbins here, the ring light wasn't for me. Okay, next let's talk about sound. I have got some of those little lavalier mics that clip onto your collar as well. I actually don't know where they are at the moment. And they then just plug into a little Bluetooth connector onto my phone. However, what I use most of the time, they're quite handy if you're filming with a respirator on, by the way, because you can actually wedge them inside as long as you can do it without breaking, keeping the seal clear. The only thing is you then do have to, you get a load of your breathing and all sorts of noises on the mic, so you have to mess about with the editing, and that is the bit you might be able to help me with because I do struggle with background noise, and that inside the mask breathing thing I don't always get clear either. Anyway, the main mic, this is when I'm filming normally. This will be, and to be honest, if I'm quite close to it, even with the respirator on, I'm not sure you can tell too much. You might hear the sound change a bit during the video, but with a bit of turning it up and turning it down as I'm editing on the separate sections of video, I think I kind of mask it quite well. Also, sometimes I forget to plug this mic in. Now, so sometimes what you'll get is what you're getting now, and that's the actual sound off my phone. Now, I clip this, as you've seen, right in front of me. There's my workspace. All this is dangling above it. So my phone goes into the clip here, as you saw before. Let me tell you about the clip. Now, can I just recommend, don't have one of those ones that's like a big bulldog clip like that. And the reason is, I've had 3 of those and I keep breaking them. These are the sort to go for. And it needs to be quite a sturdy one with quite a strong grip, because you're hanging your phone upside down over your workspace. So that is good. That's the sort I would recommend. Do all these bits up tight to hold it in place. Now, this cable you see coming all the way across here, and then I wrapped it around there just to tidy it up. This is how the microphone clips into my phone. Now, it's got a USB on this end, so you can use it with your laptop or whatever, but I just got a little adapter to plug it into the end of my iPhone 13. You can get these adapters for C-type, for the newer phones as well. So that's how all that works. Now, the arms of these are, as you can see, clamped onto the windowsill. As I said, they did come crashing down before now. I could do with like a bar across it. This wall's pretty knackered anyway, so I don't mind screwing into it. It all needs the plaster redoing though, so I don't know how solid it would be. Now, this windowsill isn't really quite wide enough. It's also very old and tatty. It'll be replaced when the windows get replaced. But this kept sliding off no matter how tight I did this up, because as you can see, it's only partially on here. So what I've done is I've got some double-sided tape, some really strong 3M one, and I have put a bit under there and under the end of here, and then tightened it up. It's going nowhere now, at least I hope not. I've literally just done that, and then I thought, I promised everybody I'd video this. So there you are. Okay, the final bit of tech I wanted to show you was this. This is a cheap tripod. ignore this bit, I'll come to that in a moment. This is a cheap tripod. It comes with a light with different settings, which is really good. It stretches up to, I don't know, how long's that? 2.5 feet maybe, 2 feet. So you can do it up to a reasonable height, but it's no good if you're standing and filming it and you're wanting it at eye level, it won't do that. But the reason I got it was it will do this. It packs down really compact and you can just stand it on your desk, which is great. And then of course it's got the obligatory phone clip. Now this is the one that I need to get a proper mount for the iPad for as well, but again it's that sort of clip. Now this thing that it's fixed to currently is really cool. These are normally £50–60 or upwards. It just screws onto the top of your tripod. You put your camera on the top, get yourself in shot, you pair this with your camera, which your phone or whatever it is, and it can see you. There's a standing mode as well, so if you're standing up you flick that up. Now the reason this is clever is all it does, it's got its own little inbuilt camera, which isn't what's filming, all it's doing is watching you, and it follows your face. So if you're moving around, this little thing will tip and turn your phone to follow you. Now normally they're expensive. I found this on Temu for, was it about £25, something like that? And I realised that I am doing a bit more actually going on camera myself nowadays, so I thought, oh, you know what, for that price I'll get one. I've got resin all over it already, look. Anyway, so if you see any of my talking head type videos and it's the camera's following me around, you know, it's not Mark I've roped into filming. I should call this Mark, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll call it Mark. Yeah, it's not Mark filming me to follow me around, it's this thing. So this is very much an optional extra if you're going to be doing some bits of filming from the side. I've wasted money on an awful lot of different phone clips. As I said, some of those with the grippy things, ones that have got all sorts of other built-in light arrangements. This one automatically diffuses. Look, it's got its own little diffuser on it. It's rechargeable and you get hours and hours of use out of that. So I'll put you the links for... Right, yes, I'm going to have to do a lot of linking, aren't I? There's the links for this thing from Temu. This, I think, was from Amazon. Everything else was from Amazon. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember about the white light because I've had that for ages. But pretty much everything else. Yeah, not the phone. That was from EE. But all the other lights, the microphone, the grippy arm that's holding this phone, all of this, except for the little follower thingy, were from Amazon. So I'll put you a load of links down below. If you do go and buy one of these, and I'll also put you the link for the laptop, although that's, at the point of recording this, that's actually out of stock at the moment. But I'll put you the links for everything down below. And if you do go and treat yourself, do me a favour, and this is a little plea on behalf of all of your lovely, friendly, crafty YouTuber friends. If you use our links to buy things, there's a good chance if we're set up as an affiliate, like I am as an Amazon affiliate, I think most of us are, we will get a tiny little bit of commission. Particularly when it's tech things like this or expensive stuff. This really, really adds up and it doesn't cost you a penny. So if there is anything that you fancy, that you want, or you want to pick my brains on, and I'll dig something up and recommend it for you, do use our links. It doesn't cost you any more. And it really, really helps us out, so we appreciate that very, very much indeed. Right, I'll leave it there. Links will be below, as I said. I'll be back to making some crafty videos. That's my next job. I am going to be using that little mould that was lurking on screen just then. Look how sparkly that is. You want to see that, don't you? That video will be up very soon too. See you soon then, folks. Bye.